Hello, I'm Mike Schimmel, a graduate student at Georgetown University. And this video is a response to the recent deal that was turned down by the Big Ten, considering a potential deal with the University of California Pension Fund. After the House settlement with the NCAA, all schools that opt into this settlement are required to pay their players $20 million, essentially $20 million a year in revenue sharing. So how will the schools look to raise the funds to pay the players? There's a lot of different uh, ideas and things that are going on right now. Um, Recently, there was a conference of the power players hosted by Bloomberg, where Ohio State revealed that they are basically creating every selling nugget they can. They're giving tours of the stadium, hitting golf balls off Ohio Stadium, etc. Other schools are branding uniforms and playing fields. Uh, the sales of alcohol have greatly increased across the NCAA. And Penn State, for example, recently converted a large storage area into a viewing area, similar to in what you see in the NHL, where fans can watch from behind glass the team walk onto the field. There's other premium experiences and ticketing premiums that are being developed all across the country in various NCAA sports. So the deal between the Big Ten, the potential deal between the Big Ten and the University of California Pension Fund, okay, was to provide $2.4 billion to Big Ten enterprises for a 10% stake, and the 18 conference schools would share the funds, not on an equal basis, but on a percentage basis, where some of the schools would take more of the percentages than others. But it would provide the pension fund a 20-year deal where they would get a 10% revenue stake in all upcoming new revenues that the Big Ten comes up with, including media deals. So the schools would use the money to pay or use it in whatever way they would, but they would be required to take a substantially lesser share going forward of all revenues that the conference comes up with. I think it's a bad deal for the conference, and one that I personally think was a smart. It was smart for the Big Ten to turn down. The impetus came from the University of Michigan and from USC. Those were the two schools of the 18 that were not interested in the deal. A couple of reasons behind that. Each university has an endowment, and that endowment is invested by the schools. Those schools create interest income from those investments. University of Michigan has been one of the best at investing their endowment, and their percentage of income is greater than what they thought would come from this deal with University of California Pension Fund. In addition, let's look at the athletes. Most athletes, through surveys, have it has been determined that most athletes don't really care where they graduate from. Um, Many of them, with the transfer portal and NIL deals, are looking just to get the best deal that they can. In addition, transferring credits each time a person transfers, it doesn't always work right, and colleges don't track students after they leave. So right now, somewhere around 50%, it's noted that 50% of all student athletes graduate. This also hurts the Olympic sports, and state funding is not going to be an answer because the federal government continues to push more and more of the onus of paying for universities onto the states. Basically, the federal government wants to get out of uh, funding a lot of universities. So in the end, I think the Big Ten was smart in turning down the deal. I'm sure there will be additional deals coming in the future, and I think they can probably find a much better deal than giving up a 10% stake.